Morning, everyone.
Roger. Morning. How did you go in Sydney?
Where's that noise coming from?
Oh, yeah, sorry, I'll turn that off. I've got music playing.
Is that your wake-up music?
Oh, well, yeah. Is that gone?
It's gone, yeah.
Oh, good. Yeah, I was getting in the vibe. Yeah, how was Sydney?
Really bad sound coming through your...
Oh, really?
The quality's not really good.
What's it, echoey?
Yeah, it's echoey and it sounds like you're in a tin box.
How's that?
That's better.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah, now I can hear.
Yeah, how did you go?
Yeah, good. Good. The audition went really well. I was really happy with the audition and stuff. And so it went really well. I tried to line up some meetings. Unfortunately, I couldn't. But the good news is that I got that gig, I got the Hilton gig. So
yeah, she wants you to get a photo.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, that's great. And when's that on?
That's on the 18th of July. So I've got the two girls going down to Sydney. You know the one we worked on, the email we worked on?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh,
so I've got that gig, and that guy runs a company called Thompson Street, and he's I looked him up and I did a bit of research, and they do high-end corporate functions around Australia. So that could be a really good opening for potential other work. So we'll just have to wait and see.
I missed who that guy is.
Matthew, that was the guy Matthew that we worked on the email. If you remember, that was
Matthew to the Hilton.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
great.
But he's not from the Hilton. The Hilton is where the function is actually happening.
Okay.
They are an events company who put together specialised entertainment for corporate functions. So this actual client is the Australian Energy Corporation, who are having their awards dinner.
Wow, that's great. Oh, well, that's
win. Yeah, so that could be good. So it's not the actual Hilton, but it's a company called Thompson Street.
Well, it sounds even better because at least he sounds like he could be a really good lead source.
Yeah. So we'll just have to wait and see. But and then I got another gig on the 26th of August as well in Melbourne. So and then possibly a third one in on the 8th of August.
Oh wow! What's the one in Melbourne?
Well, the one in Melbourne is confirmed. That I just got that through the agent that I do work with, and then the other one I just got out of the blue. Basically, I got an email.
Excuse me, I've got to cut you off, Roger. Matt's trying to call me because he can't get the link. Hang on a sec. Sorry.
No worries.
I'll just mute you for a sec. Oh, hey. You've got it in your email, in your inbox.
Which one?
It just says log in here, zoom.us.
Where? Which email?
Oh, okay. I've sent you probably 3.
Yeah, got it.
Yeah.
Sorry. It was 3 down, you sent it, and then you sent me the reminder about the debit card. Okay, cool. All right, good. I'm doing it now.
Oh, yeah, cool. All right. So all good?
Yeah.
Bye. Okay, guys. Well, we're just 2 minutes off. We'll get Matt in, and we'll kick off in a sec. I'm just going to do a few things here just to get us prepared. I think our cold morning might be keeping some people away. Thanks, Mark and John and Roger and Matt. We've almost got you in here. Unmute Roger.
This is not. Good morning.
Hello, everyone. Hey, Matt, you're in?
Hi, Trevor.
Oh, hey, Mark. Nice to see you in here.
You too, Trev.
It's a little bit of a darky, coldy morning. I think we've kept a few people in bed. but I'm gonna mute everyone for a sec. Just hang on a sec. What I'll do, guys, is I'll just mute you all, and we've got 2 minutes to go, and then we'll kick off at 7 sharp. I'll be back in 1 sec. I'm just grabbing a water. Hang on a minute. All participants mute all. Okay. Okay, good morning, everyone. Well, we have got 1 minute to go. I'm just going to wait for 1 more minute, and then we're going to kick off. Thanks so much, everyone, for showing up. What an outstanding show up. Fantastic. I thought everyone would want to snuggle and stay in bed. So I'm just going to unmute everyone quickly, and for some reason, I cannot see you guys. It's so weird. Let's see here. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes, Trev.
Oh, good. Normally I can see you guys. I don't know why I can't, but anyway, I'm going to mute you all for a second. I'm just going to see what I'm doing here. Okay. Manage participants. Okay. Okay, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to kick off nice and strong. I'm going to just keep you guys unmuted for a sec because I feel like I need to hear some people because I actually can't see you for some reason. But anyway, welcome to the Let's Get It Club. This is actually our 4th week. My dream is being realized to have a virtual business growth coaching club, and people are showing up and a part of it. And I'm really pleased to hear of all the great news that's going on out there. So let's continue and let's have a great meeting. Very quickly jumping into it, why have we got the Let's Get It Club? It's for good business people and entrepreneurs that I've designed for you to have a place where you can come and grow and have a thriving business. It's for business people that I've put this together for business people who I know conscious of where they put their time and their money to invest into their business. And I really wanted to put this club together for people so they can network, promote their business, learn and grow, and stay on our A game. It's a place for you to obviously promote your business and build referrals, which is already happening, and introductions, which is such a pleasure to see. And as I put it there as a quote, which is let's not think, let's just keep doing and moving forward into the direction of our goals and dreams, and to be a go-getter and keep going after what it is that we want to create, which is why I've created the Get It Club. Okay, very quickly, all of you pretty much know me now. My name's Trevor Russell. I am a sales growth coach. I am a business consultant, speaker, trainer. And bottom line is I'm just really committed to helping good people really want to achieve their goals and continue to succeed in their business and keep moving forward and do all the things that we need to do on a daily basis to stay present to the goals and dreams that we want to achieve, because I know myself it can be challenging out there at times, and to be a part of a group where you can actually do it from the comfort of your own home is definitely a dream of mine that I've wanted to achieve, and it's really nice to see this happening. So let's continue on. Very quickly, big round of applause to you guys for showing up. Absolute pleasure to have you here. What I'd like to do is, before we continue on, I'd just like to ask a couple of people in the group before we continue, a couple of any wins and challenges that people would like to share. I've just had a chat to Roger, and Roger has just shared that he's gotten a new deal with the Hilton, which has been great. And would anyone else like to share a couple of quick results or achievements that they've achieved in the last week? Over to you guys. Okay, well,
yeah, Trev, it's AJ. How you going?
Yeah, good. AJ, how you doing? Give us the
Good,
news.
thanks, mate. So yeah, we had a few quotes going on over the last couple of weeks, and looking like we've made about $10,000 worth of sales coming in over the next 4 to 6 weeks. So
wow, congratulations! That's outstanding. Very good. And what do you attribute to your success? Like, where did your inquiries come from, or your leads come from?
They came from basically just networking referrals. So different people that I've been networking over the last probably 6, 8 weeks or so.
Okay.
And an opportunity kind of arose with a number of those to go and see people that they knew that obviously had a chance to get together with myself and find out what we actually do. And they worked out really well. And in fact, one referral led to another 4 referrals. So yeah, it turned out really well. So that should keep us going for the next few weeks, thankfully.
Wow, congratulations. Really, really happy for you. That's great. Well, look, let's move on, because I would, well, actually, no, let me ask, before we move on, would one more person like to share? All good? Okay.
Are you there, Trevor?
All right, everyone's nice and quiet, probably eating breakfast. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to mute you all, and then we'll continue on, because I will give you a run through of today. Here we go. Excuse me. Okay, so guys, just in relation to just connecting, please know and remember this is a place to connect. And I know that a lot of you are already connecting and talking and doing business together. I know I am, which is great. We've got a Facebook group there now. So Sonia is getting everyone connected there. Just to let you know, I'm going to organize a little party this Friday night at the Islander Bar in Surface. Friday the 14th from about 4:30. So if anyone wants to pop along and actually come and meet face to face, it's just a little bit of a happy hour, after works, drinks. And if you want to come along to that, just so I know that you're coming, could you email me at info@trevorrussell.com.au? You guys have all got my emails, or send me a text and just let me know that you're coming. I've got a few little, just surprises and stuff we'll do. It's nothing serious. If you can't make it, I understand, but just an opportunity for any of us that can get together, just to celebrate at the end of the week for all the hard work that we're all doing, and to meet face to face for those of you who want to. So that'd be a pleasure to have you guys there. Okay, for today, we are in a moment going to meet Matthew Whyatt. Matthew is a buddy of mine and a great sales trainer, great businessman. I'm really looking forward to hearing Matt talk, and we'll give you guys some great value today. He's a wealth of knowledge, and really look forward to hearing what Matt has to say for us. We will then, after when Matt finishes, we'll just talk quickly about what's coming up in the Get It Club, and we'll finish up at around 8:15, and then I'll be hanging around for a bit to answer any questions if anyone has anything, and then we'll wrap it up and we're off for the week. So that's our plan. And so what I'd now like to do is I'm going to unmute Matt, and if I can see him in here somewhere, here he is. Okay, Matt, can you hear me?
Sure can. How are you, Russell?
Yeah,
Trevor?
good. Thanks, Matthew. For yep, just don't call me Mary.
Yeah, that's right. Goodness me, that's a great way to start, isn't it?
Oh no, look, I think it's just I'm so used to it. But hey, don't sweat it. All good. Hey, Matthew, thanks so much for joining us this morning. You're actually our first guest speaker, which is exciting. And, just so you know, I formulated this group about 4 weeks ago, and it's really starting to grow and great things are coming from it. And I really am so impressed with everyone who keeps showing up and the discipline that they're showing to be consistent, which is a big part of the reason why I'm doing the group. But enough of that. What I'd like to do is I'd love to hand it over to you. And Matt, I've just put a few little points down, background, what motivates you. If you could share with us a bit about what you see out there in the business world. And really, as we talked about yesterday, there's a whole lot of stuff that I know that you can and want to share with us. So I might hand it over to you now, and yeah, go for it, Matt. Give us an intro to who you are and what you do, and we'll go from there.
Rightio. Okay. Well, look, thanks very much, Trevor. So I won't spend a lot of time talking about me because it's not really about me. It's about seeing if I can provide you guys some true value. So just as a bit of background, I started my first company when I was 22, essentially because I thought the guys that I was working for were not very bright. And of course, when you're 22, you think you know everything. So I jumped straight in and started my first business, and from there went ahead and grew that to around about $10 million in about 6 years. And that was by using and utilizing really great mentors and people who have already walked the path, and like you guys are doing with Trevor, actually using the mind and the collective mind of the people out there. So I realized very early that my network is my net worth. And so that would be the first thing that I want to share with you guys is take the time to actually think about who in your network is already doing business with your customers. And I think Roger said earlier that AJ was saying earlier that he was able to develop some sales from the networking. And I think that's a really important part. And these clubs are a great way to doing that. So yeah, started my first business at 22. That's all, 20 years ago, 19 years ago now. So do the math, 41. And over that time, done a whole bunch of stuff. Imported health products from China and France. Had about 15 racehorses, which pretty much is like burning cash. I should have done that for the warmth because that would have provided me more value. What else have I done? Had a real estate agency in Mermaid. At one stage, we were about 70 staff across a real estate business, a software development firm we had for corporates and enterprise businesses. We did some work with major telcos, Telstra, Optus, people like that, building their CRM and ERP systems, which is essentially their database management stuff, really geeky sort of stuff. Now, I'm not necessarily a big nerd. What I do realize is the people in that space are not great at selling. By choosing to be technicians and choosing to be engineers, they've almost subconsciously decided not to be anything else, and part of that is sales. Now, I know there's a lot of people out there in the world who are really great at what they do. Their one thing, they do amazing, and they've built a bit of a business out of that. They've created some income, had some referrals come through, and then have paused and find, what do I do next? And so what I always do is when I actually speak at large group events is I ask people, how many here need sales to survive? And most of the time, all hands go up. Well, hopefully you realize that hands go up. And then as I go on, I ask them about how many here have actually taken the time, the 10 minutes it takes to go through what is a written down sales process. How do your customers get the best of you? And so that's I think a really important factor and a bit of a key takeaway for everybody. I know you're working with Trevor on this in these sessions. Is what does it mean to you, and how do you actually serve your clients at a high level? So my career has spanned 20 years. About 3 years ago, I took a year off to take the family and lived in Bali. Achieved what I wanted to achieve in my life. Had a business realignment. I think that's the current euphemism for failure, Trevor. And took a year off. Hung out in Bali for a year. Surfed, drank beer, and thought, what do I want to do with my second life? And so what I realized is people keep phoning me up and say, Matt, can you help me with my sales team? Can you help me with my sales? I don't know what I'm doing here. I need to scale. I need to go from $5 to $20 million. I need to go from $20 to $100 million. What's the next step that we need to take? And so I sort of fell into this consulting gig, realized that when I got back, I needed to continue to build my network. And as I always knew that my network is my net worth. And what I did is I started thinking, well, who's already done this? And this might be another key takeaway for you. Who's already taken this journey? Who's already at the top of their game when it comes to speaking, mentoring, training, and sales? And I reached out to a few people in in that space, and I went through the top 10 global sales gurus. There's a website called Top 30 Gurus, and started going through them. And I realized I knew the guy at number 8, which is Bob Urachuk. And so I messaged Bob. I've met him at a seminar. Messaged Bob and said, "Hey, Bob, do you mind if I interview you for my sales podcast? I'm speaking with global gurus, and I want to get your take on modern selling." And Bob said, "Yeah, sure." And I thought, "Oh, great. How do I do a podcast?" So I figured that out because I always like to make a commitment and then figure it out. It's easier to do it that way, I find. And then from there, had a few conversations with Bob. I said to him, "Bob, I'd love to be the CEO of your business, seeing as you're retiring, and what can we do together?" He said, "Great, Matthew, but I'm not going to pay you." And I thought, deal. I'll be the CEO of your business for no money, simply because I was able to take advantage of his network. And so I've always thought, well, how does my network help me? And how can I help my network? So I was paying it forward to Bob, realizing that one can climb the mountain, and another way you can do it is parachute into the top of the mountain. And so by actually aligning myself with Bob, I was able to parachute into the top of the mountain. So that's a bit about in the last 20 years. Got a couple of boys at school, and my wife works with me in the business and has done so for the last 20 years. So that works reasonably well. So Trevor, you emailed me about a couple of questions you'd like me to go through. What else have you got for me? I'm happy to rather than me rabbit on for the next 30 minutes, it might be best if we sort of create a conversation.
Yeah, sure. And look, thanks so much. I think that even what you just said then, Matt, there was so much gold in there. I just couldn't write fast enough. And I think, what I'd like to lead us to is, bottom line is, I do believe that there's a lot of great business out there for us to do. From your perspective, even because I think a lot of us are probably, and I don't want to sort of make us sound small, but a lot of us are more smaller business from a sense of size of team and turnover. I suppose, one of the things that I've realized when you and I were chatting is larger companies are dealing with the same challenges in so many ways that smaller companies are. And I think, from what I've seen is that we're all dealing with the same issues. So I think, from your perspective, Matt, what would you say are some of the things that you're seeing, whether small or large businesses, what they're struggling with when it comes to achieving a consistent flow of sales income?
Yeah, look, that's a great question. Actually, I think small and micro business has a huge advantage. I've vowed never to go big again. And when I say big, I had 70 staff, and that's reasonably big for a small to medium business. But some of the companies I'm working with have thousands of employees. And you know what? I think that small to medium business has a massive advantage. We can pivot. We can go, we want to go over here. We want to change our way of doing business and who we do business with. And the way we do business and who we do business with and why we do business is our culture. And the culture that sits inside our business, you can choose today that I only work with these types of people. And so, so what I like to talk about is who we sell to, and the 80-20 rule. And I'm sure, Trevor, this is a good old standard sales bit around 80-20 rule and making sure you actually are selling to the right people. So have a think about your current database. There's 15 or 16 people here online today. Think about all of the people you do business with, and think about the people you love you're working with. Imagine if you were 100% funded. You didn't need to actually run your business, and you thought, who are the people that I would love to do business with? Who are they? They're my A-class clients. They're the ones that pay on time, that don't moan about money, that actually really get a huge amount of value about from what we do. They're our A-class clients. And so what I break my client base up in is an A, B, and C. A for absolute, B for beneficial, and C for convenient. C is not crap. C is convenient. And a lot of business, especially small to medium business, look, I'm a small to medium business. I have 2 consultants and my wife working with me. You can't get much smaller than that. So, so what I did is we looked at who we love working with, who gets the most value from what I do, and said, right, A for absolute. These are the best people we can do business with. They're not going to moan about money, and we can actually go ahead and get huge referrals from them. B for beneficial. Everybody wins. Now, C, convenient. And this is the trap that I found myself almost diving into, and I see a lot of business doing, especially in that big corporate space. You know, I think that, as I said earlier, there's a huge value and benefit of being in a small business. You can move a lot faster than these guys. So convenient clients. So many times we think to ourselves, oh, I can go out and get heaps of these types of people. And you know what? They're the wrong type of people. They're the ones that are going to moan about money. They're the other ones that are going to, who are going to go for a discount. And you know what? If you give one of your C-class clients a discount, I've got pretty strong opinions on discounting, actually. Every dollar you discount is off your bottom line. So if you make 10% profit, you give somebody a 10% discount, you're wiping out all your profit. So I'm really strong on not discounting because you have value that you present in the marketplace. Anyway, so
can I jump in and say something there, Matt?
So with that, what we want to do is realize that a lot of businesses are already in the process of buying. And I'm sort of going to move into some of the things we spoke about yesterday, Trevor.
Sorry, Matt, can I just jump in? You just said something then. You said our customers were in the process of buying.
Yeah. Let me tell you that's exactly what I was going to talk about. Yeah. So current research from Cisco and Microsoft. Cisco is probably one of the biggest router companies in the world. Microsoft, well, we know Microsoft, says that 70% of people who are looking to buy anything are already down the path of buying something. And so what that means, they've Googled it. So what do you guys do? Think about you're going to buy a pen or a microphone or a laptop or even something for your business, a printer. Think about that. They're already down the path of buying it. You're already down the path of buying it. You have some idea. So what we need to do as salespeople is we need to take back control of that, because what happens is you become human Google. If somebody says, hey, AJ, do you do this? And you go, yes. That doesn't help you actually move the sale forward. You become human Google. How much is it? What does it do? What are the features and benefits, and how does it work for me? That doesn't help you become an expert, and doesn't help the customer actually learn more about their issues. Because if they were the expert, if the customer was the expert, they wouldn't need us. So what we need to do is we need to wrestle back control of that conversation. And how that looks is, if somebody says, let's talk about a piece of hardware, for example. Do you guys sell pens? Got a pen in my hand. Do you guys sell pens? Most people, most business owners, and I know most people here on the phone would say, yes, we do. We have black ones, we have blue ones, we have green ones. They twist and they click. That's not helping. How you need to reframe and take control of that conversation is, look, we've got a number of options available to us. What business outcome are you trying to achieve here? Or what's your outcome you're trying to look for? Oh, well, I really want to have a pen that writes in beautiful calligraphy. Oh, okay. So what you're talking about there is a type of fountain pen. Is that right? Yeah. And so how will that help you in your business actually do that? Oh, well, we need to do this, this, and this. So just put that in your own business frame. Do you guys sell tires? Do you guys sell computers? Whatever it is. We've got a number of options available to us. What outcome are you trying to achieve? And by wrestling control back of that conversation, you're actually going to find yourself asking questions and taking control. The only reason we ask questions, look, there's lots of great reasons to ask questions, is to discovery, understand the client needs, wants, and desires. All of those things, make sure they've got a genuine need. But the real reason is to hold and maintain control.
Sure.
If you can hold and maintain control of the conversation, you will win the business. You'll become known, liked, and trusted. And that's the only reason somebody will do business with you in preference to a Harvey Norman or to somebody else who can sell you the thing. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. And Matt, if I can jump in, because if I could go one step back, one of the things that I was also very impressed with is your ability when we were chatting about, if you could, because where I see where you've just gone is we're now having a conversation with our potential clients. And as I look here, as our good people are in here, everyone that I know in here are all in the position of either currently in the process of prospecting, or they're wanting to prospect, or, you know, in that space. And as you said, you are prospecting consistently, and it's the vicious, you know, it's the necessary evil of all our businesses, both large and small. And you were just saying, when you're having that conversation, would you mind elaborating a little bit on, as I do see it as a struggle in business, is how you consistently put yourself out there to be getting in front of potential clients that you do want to go and work with, and how you do that on a consistent basis from a mindset perspective and from a systems perspective, so you are consistently prospecting. Yeah,
look, that's a great thank you for redirecting me on that, Trevor. I know, as I said, I go off on Jags, and I got,
no, that's fine, all good.
20-something years of stuff to talk about. All right, so prospecting is I think one of the most important things. And in modern selling, there's a couple of things we need to think about and work with. So the first question I ask myself, and the first question I'd love you guys to ask yourself, is who's currently doing business with my customers? So I thought about that and I said, okay, well, who's currently doing business with my customers? Who's actually running a sales team of that $5 to $20 million space in the tech space? So that's my niche. So by the way, the more niche you get, the more narrow your marketplace, and this is going to sound massively counterintuitive, and I reckon 10 people out of 15 are going to reject this idea, but just let it sit with you for a moment. The more narrow your marketplace, the more business you will get.
Yeah, I
Sounds
agree.
insane, I know. But when I first got back from Bali, I can do sales for everybody because I've owned a real estate firm, I've done this and I've done that and I've done this. I can do everything for everybody. But as I got more and more narrow, I got more and more business. Yep. So as you get more and more narrow, you then realize who's doing business with your customers. And then you go and network with them. So once you've got that, once you've spoken with that group, then you still need to do prospecting. So just to let you know, a bit of insight in my business, I deliver my sales training and my keynotes usually on a Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Tuesday morning, Thursday morning is prospecting. I literally have that booked in my diary as the most important appointment of the week, and I pick up the phone. But you know what? I've been doing this for 20 years. I've put myself out there as a sales trainer and expert. I'm writing books on the subject. I'm the global CEO of a sales training organization. And last Thursday, I was telling you about this last week, Trevor, that I sit there on Thursday morning, I'm ready to go, and I'm tidying my desk, organizing this, getting a cup of water. I might go get a coffee. See you later, kids. Have a great day. All this sort of stuff. And about 45 minutes into my 3-hour block of actually prospecting, I went, wait a minute. I haven't picked up the phone. And I went and hit the dial button, put my headset on before I'd bothered to look at their LinkedIn profile, before I bothered to look at their website, before I bothered to do stuff, because I knew I needed to break that seal. I needed to start. And so even pros, that's an embarrassing thing for me to admit, but hopefully it helps you guys understand that even people who have decided they're in sales, who've rejected being a programmer, who've rejected being a great electrician, who've said, I'm only going to do sales, still frig around and actually have to overcome that call reluctance. It happens. Now, some people might say, oh, no, I love being on the phone. That's okay. You can mind shift yourself. And so how I overcome some reluctance and and resistance in that space is by asking myself why things are easy. So the universe always answers us in perfect ways. So if you are always asking yourself, oh, why are my kids always a pain in the neck? Or why is life always hard? Or why is bad things always happen to me? You know what? The universe is going to answer in a perfect way every time. So you flip that. Yeah, I can see Catherine nodding. You flip that and you say, well, why is it always easy for me to do stuff? So for example, I'm going to sit down in about an hour. I'm going to go meet a person who actually has already fed me 3 or 4 referrals. I'm going to go meet them at about 8:30 this morning. When I get back, I'm going to sit down. First thing I'm going to ask myself is, why is it so easy for me to make calls? And then I'll make the calls.
Yeah, nice.
Your mind will actually shift. You will actually shift, and your mind and the universe will answer you. Especially when I'm doing videos. Like there's been times when I've done the selfie videos, and I know Trevor, you do a ton of these. I don't know how many takes it takes you to do that, but you know what? To get 1 minute of perfection takes me like 30 takes. And by about the 25th one, I'm swearing at myself. I'm like, my arm's tired. I'm like, goodness me, I won't swear, but come on. But you know what?
Yeah.
I take a moment, stretch out, and go, why is it so easy for me to get this right first time?
Yeah, I love it.
Click,
I love.
go.
Yeah.
So do that.
So what you're telling me is you're just as human as all of us, Matt.
Oh man, it's fascinating that it still takes time for me to warm up. Once I get into it, I love it. I call myself a task monkey. I'm picking up the phone, I'm filling out my CRM, I'm doing the work, all those sort of things. So in regards to prospecting, I've identified my perfect market, my perfect target market, and then and I think Trevor said this in one of his videos, try to create a bit of a wow factor. And I should have prepared it. I'm just going to go over here and get it. I send out lumpy mail to my perfect customers. And so I know that recruiting, training, and managing salespeople is a stress for them. So what I'm doing is I'm sending out a little letter with a stress ball in the post. And the letter says, is a recruiting, training, and managing high-performance sales teams causing you a world of stress? I send this to people. I got an Oracle partner. If you know who Oracle is, they're a global company, a huge software business. I had the CEO of Australia email me saying, hey, I like your stress ball. We should talk.
Yeah, great.
Identify your target market, go after them strongly, and you'll win. But you've got to do the work.
Yeah, look, and I think, if I can relate, even yesterday I was a little bit tired, had a friend's birthday over the weekend, and I had some people on my list that I've met, some banks, and they just started off and said, send us an email, make an introduction. And even the email that I was preparing to write, I had stress around sending it, or do I do it, just what the mind did. But I ended up sending one, and then I did another one, and then I did another one. Admittedly, I haven't heard anything back yet. It was only yesterday afternoon, but I really do feel that when we're playing this game of business, that this is one of those frogs that if we can consistently eat and get done, and I do really like that you do this in the morning. And guys, I think this is a great takeaway for all of us, is to allocate that time where we are going to do our prospecting and just get it done on a consistent basis. And it's a big reason why I put this together for Tuesday morning, is to build consistency. And I think there was a lot of wisdom in what you said there, Matt, about that consistent doing the activity. So can I just ask, Matt, with relation to Oracle and the CEO contacting you, how many packs had you sent out to really get an impact there off that one, just to give an idea of the metrics of the type of activity that you'd be doing? Because I think a lot of people, they go, oh, I tried it once, I tried it twice, it didn't work. But I think we all know that that's not the way that we're going to get a result. Would that be fair to say?
Oh man, you're so right, Trevor. So to date, I've sent about 70 stress balls out.
Wow.
And so, but I've phoned and followed up every single one multiple times. Current statistics tell us that it takes 9 contact efforts to cut through to B2B sales. 9.
Yeah.
So I'm making dozens of calls, not for my health, because I know that if I crack one at $15,000,
yep,
all of the little $180 stress balls and all the postage paid for. Get
Yeah.
2, I'm way ahead.
Yeah, yeah,
I've
exactly.
already got a couple. Great. What I also noticed is, and so I got to a point where I realized that, oh, geez, maybe this isn't working. But at the beginning, I'd set myself a number of how many times I'd do this before I really changed it and binned it. And that was 100. I'm going to send out 100 before I decide whether or not it works.
Wow, that's profound. I love that. I really do. 100 before it work to decide. Yeah, because I mean, I could really elaborate on that. Well, you know, what I'd like to do is, how would you feel, Matt, if you're okay? We'll open up the floor for our crew here to ask you some questions, and then I'll come back and I'll ask you a few other bits and pieces. How do you feel about that?
Absolutely, go for it.
Okay. All right, guys. So what I've done is I've unmuted you all. And please ask away, guys. Who's got some questions?
Hi, Matt. Mark Grant here. How are you?
Excellent, Mark. How are you?
Not bad, thank you, Matt. Thanks very much for those very good points of wisdom. I've got a couple of questions there for you. I sincerely agree with 9 contact points before you get to that sales situation. My question for you is, with that 9 contact points, what sort of time frame would that be over? I.e., would you, for instance, phone Mark Grant today, leave a message, and then diary for a week's time to send me an email or Facebook message, that sort of procedure?
Yeah, great question, Mark. Okay, so it depends on the buyer. So I hate giving answers like it depends, but I'm going to. If we're talking about depending on the size of the business, but let's say, who are you targeting, Mark?
Matt, I'm at this point in time, I'm targeting property managers.
Yeah, okay. So we know a few things about property managers. We know that they are they're process driven. We know that it's that we know that they're being pulled and shoved from owners and tenants. We know that they're dealing with some stuff. They're also always being asked to do more with less. So they're administrators that need to talk to the outside world. So that they're a unique individual. They also like and I hope there's no property managers on the call here. Property managers have I won't say unique, but they like often, I'm generalizing here, they have that they like the power that comes along with their role. Okay? Sort of like parking ticket people. So how do we deal with property managers? So we try to provide them value, and this is actually what could occur for everybody here. Is we try to provide them value. So the cadence and the rhythm of how I would interact with them is I would try to find ways to make their job easier. So so the first contact would be, "Hi Joanne, it's Mark here with XYZ. We help property managers do this with this." Or we currently work with a bunch of property managers doing this to achieve this, allowing them to do less of this and more of that. And you need to understand the buyer context. So you've understood the buyer context, you've reached out and you've left that message. Then you back that up with an email on the day. "Hi, I just left you a message and here's an article I found for you, or here's a way that one of my existing clients are using my service and have seen value doing it." And so what you then do is I would say, if it's a Tuesday, you're actually calling them, phone them on a Thursday. "Hi Joanne, Mark here. Hopefully you got the article and got some value out of it. Wanted to ask you 1 or 2 quick questions. Do you have time on Friday?" Send an email Friday. "Hey, I'm sorry I wasn't able to get to you on today. I know you're probably busy. I'll follow you up next week. Is that okay?" Question mark. So do try to end your emails with a question mark. If you can do that, I end every sales email with a question. So you know what? I can blah, blah, blah about how wonderful I am. The longest and hardest part of me me writing an email is coming up with a question that actually adds value and will get them responding to me.
And
so so the 9 contact points would be they are 9 contact points. They're a bunch of phone calls and a bunch of emails. And the last one, Mark, is if you've identified the problem that they have, the problem they're having that you can solve, the last email you send to them or the last phone call is, Hi, Joanne, Mark here. Hey, the last couple of weeks, I've sent you some articles that may have helped you achieve this by doing this a little bit more efficiently. I'm going to assume that you've got that completely sorted, or you don't have time to talk to me right now. So I'm going to leave it with you. I won't contact you again. Thanks. But if you do need something, do feel free to contact me back. That's the going negative email, the going negative message. And that message, after if you've provided them some value and you've actually gone ahead and left with valuable based messages in your emails and also on the phone, that go negative voicemail and message will get 100% faster and 100% more return on phone call. They will return your call and often apologize because they have been reading your emails. They have been getting value. Also, just a moment. Sorry. Also, I would suggest is getting an email tracker. So you want to know who's opening your emails and when they are. If they're not opening your emails, then maybe your email is not as strongly worded. But if they've opened the email 10 times, I have one client who actually who uses MailChimp, who uses HubSpot. So one uses HubSpot, one uses MailChimp. You know how often people are opening emails. You can actually say, "Hey Joanne, it's Mark here. I noticed you opened my email a bunch of times. I assume that this is of real interest. I'd love to give you some more insights on that, what my other customers are using. Can we have a 5-minute call?"
Yeah, that's
Thanks
great.
so much,
I love it. That's great. Well, I might see if I can bribe you to give us a little template email I can send everyone, Matt.
Absolutely. You know what? I think because I've got a short attention span, and you can probably tell that today because I've been all over the show, I like to keep my emails super short. I literally get, I'm going to say 150 emails a day, and I reckon all of us are in the same boat. The shorter the email, the better.
Yeah, look, I agree. I'm reading a book at the moment about the gentleman who really catapulted Salesforce.com, and he uses just plain text emails and a lot of very similar language to yourself, everything above the fold. And I read it after I'd probably sent those 3 emails yesterday, which was pretty much a war and peace email. And I'm like, oh my God, we get so excited about wanting to tell our whole story. But yeah, it was a good reminder of just making sure it's short and brief, because really, as I also know, it's really just opened the door to have a conversation, right, Matt?
Oh man, look, so guys, we know that sales are made during a series of meetings.
Yeah.
A series of conversations. So the purpose of the pitch is to progress. So if you've got an elevator pitch, a network meeting that AJ talked about, goodness me, I've just set off Siri somehow. The purpose of the pitch is to progress. So if you meet somebody in a networking meeting, the only purpose you've got there is to build a little bit of like, a little bit of know, and a little bit of trust, and then book that next coffee, book that next meeting.
Yeah.
And then at that meeting, you book the next one.
Yeah, I agree. And it's music to my ears too, Matt. Well, thanks, Mark, for your great question. And guys, we will have this recorded, and I'll send it obviously out to all of you, and I'll see if I can get a few little emails off Matt for you guys. I'm sure he wouldn't mind. Who else has a question? I mean, guys, this is a great opportunity to ask someone who, is at the coalface. Great question. So guys, let's take advantage of Matt while he's here. Anyone else who's got a question? Actually,
I've got another one for you.
Well, maybe, Mark, we might be able to give someone else a go if that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Matthew, I've got a question. This is Roger.
Hi, Roger.
Hi, I run a company called Vivace Entertainment. So I'm in the entertainment business.
Sorry, guys. I've got a kid here. I'll find them. Hang on. Keep going, Roger.
So I've got an entertainment business which basically pitches directly to event companies and corporates, mainly event companies. I do a little bit of work with entertainment agencies, but mainly I'm trying to pitch to event companies and companies who are putting on events. So me trying to find my point of difference with all of the competition that's out there pitching to the same market, it's really, really tricky. especially when you try and ring them up. For example, I've just come back from Sydney, and I spent most of last week trying to make phone calls to potential clients who I've worked with, event companies that I've worked with or what have you, just to set up a coffee to try and, because I'm going to be in Sydney, I'm going to be there face to face. And I got the same kind of reaction most of the phone calls that were saying, "Oh, look, we know who you are. We know where to find you. Send us an email." You know, that's kind of very frustrating for me. And I was just be interested in your insights as to how you would probably go about that.
Yeah, look, that's a great that's a real challenge for a lot of people, Roger. So I've got two thoughts on that. First of all, you'd be surprised how few entertainers are actually continually pitching. I think most artists want to be artists, and so they want to draw towards them. So I would not be just so. If Trevor's asking you and encouraging you to make phone calls and book coffees, then continue doing that. If you think, well, if I get a 5% ROI or ROTI, I'm going to add a T in there, return on time invested, okay? Not just return on investment money-wise, but return on time invested, because time's the only commodity we can't get more of. So if you think, well, I'm going to 5% ROTI on this, Rody, what if I need to make 95 calls and the last 5 will be the ones that actually take me up on that coffee? And I know that's not that's probably not a magic pill, because you know what, there isn't one. You know, these marketers online have got a lot to friggin' answer for when they say, you know, my one-click funnel that will produce me $1 million. Bullshit. But so sorry everybody. But you know, I just get really upset. Not upset, but I think it's laughable that these guys are trying to sell you snake oil, and there's still snake oil salesmen out there. So just do the work. Second thing, Roger, is take the energy out of the coffee. So I had a conversation with a chap from Oz Industry. They do business for businesses up to $100 million. They'll provide free advice. And I emailed him. Sorry, I tried to phone him, then emailed him. And he said, "Oh, we've got some requirements coming up in a couple of months, maybe, and I know who you are. Thanks very much. Send me some info." Exactly what you said. And I said back an email, "Hey, that's great. Love to buy you a quick coffee, just so I can understand what your business is about."
Yeah.
And so I took all the heat out of it. I said, "Hey, what about a 5-minute coffee?" And I did that. And then so far I've got 35 grand worth of business out of him in the last 2 months. Because now I'm on the panel of people who get referred. If you've got a tech business in in Queensland who gets advice from the government, half of my engagements now are funded by the government simply because I went and said, "Hey, look, that's cool. Let's have a coffee anyway." So take the heat, because it's not about learning more about them or introducing yourself or anything like that. The coffee is essentially, "Hey, I'd love to meet you. Hey, I'm in Brisbane. I do this all the time. This is a bit of a secret. If I want to go meet somebody, I'm going to email them or phone them and say, 'Hey, Jeff, I'm in Brisbane tomorrow. Do you have time for a 5-minute coffee?' 'Yeah, sure, Matthew. What time works for you?' 'Hey, I've got a few slots. I've got a few meetings dotted around the place. What works for you best?' 10 o'clock. Great. See you at 10. I've got 0 meetings in frickin' Brisbane. You know, I'm going to drive an hour there to spend 30 minutes in front of a guy from Microsoft or Cisco or friggin' Oracle, and an hour and a half back home driving a BS M1 to do the work. You know why? Because one deal for me is worth 15 to 20 grand. So just do it. And you only got to do that a few times.
Yeah, look,
so if Trevor's part of the conversation, sorry, I'm rambling on, but
no, it's really very valuable.
The work. And then what can you learn from the conversation you just had?
Yeah, look, and I think one of the things that I really got from what you just said, Matt, is instead of putting so much energy and weight into 1 or 2 conversations, set a metrics. And I'm going to take this away from today is for myself is it's like, you know what, I'm going to make 100 connections and send what I call my wow packs, my calls, and then I'm going to do a measurement from my 100 and see what I generate from that, because for me then it becomes less about the end of, and I'm not saying I'm not going to put a lot of energy and perfectionism and as best as I can into each contact, but I'm going to make 100 contacts and then I'm going to do the measure as to my ROI out of those 100, which what I'm really trying to say is it'll take the energy out of, oh, you know, that one didn't work or that one didn't work, as opposed to an overall metrics.
Man, so let me just share with this one thing that I absorb a lot of sales books. You can sort of see them behind me here. One of the things that I've realized is the only way to feel rejection is to not have enough in your pipeline.
Yep. Yep.
So, Trevor, you would know, being a top flight sales person, working for corporates and also working for yourself, and I'm going to assume other people here are running pretty good businesses. If you've got one potential deal and you lose that one deal, it feels like crap.
Yeah.
But if you've got 50 potential deals and you lose one, it's like, next.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, I agree. And this is what I say to people. We need to obviously be putting more people into the funnel and doing that, and having, you know, and a big part of the work that I really do like to do is help, you know, our good people here to have a bigger funnel going. And man, that is why I'm pumping out videos all the time and doing this stuff, because I just know that there is some magic in a bit more activity. I mean, a whole lot more activity, even if it's not all perfect activity. But the exciting thing is a lot of it can be fun too. But yeah, look, coming back to what we were talking about is, you know, having more quality activity. And guys, if I could jump in and just say what I'm hearing from Matt is, let go of the perfectionism, let go of having to get it perfectly right, but be really committed to just doing good, consistent activity, as opposed to thinking about doing perfect activity. And Roger, I really want to take my hat off to you. I know it's a challenge to do those calls and contacts. However, I really want to say well done for having a go, because I do know it will pay dividends. And here's one of the other things that I've realized. There's this amazing thing that occurs that very often, and Matt, you may be able to say that you've, you know, what your thoughts are on this too. Very often when we're taking more activity, like if I'm out doing a whole lot of stuff and speaking and calling a meeting, very often the business doesn't even come from those channels. It comes from somewhere else, but it's almost like the universe says, oh, you know what, he's having a go, and it just shows up from somewhere else. Do you ever find that, Matt?
100%. Absolutely. 100% of the time. I spent a day on BD, business development. Spent a day on BD. Last Thursday was a perfect example. Day of BD, on the phone, plugging away, got a few meetings, did a few things. And then I get a phone call from a person that I know that from a networking event that I go to. Hey, Matt, we're looking at actually rolling out a national program where we're targeting 90,000 people in all states of Australia. Can you help us build out a team and employ sales managers in every state?
Wow.
Yes, I can. So yeah, yes, I can. So but you know, that's, maybe that would have occurred, maybe it wouldn't have. But, you know, I don't want to mess with it. As you said, Trevor, it's like it's like we put enough energy out there in the world, and we say, okay, all right, you've earned this win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. It's like Mother Nature says, okay, well, they're having a go. Let's open up the door.
I give in.
Yeah, thank you. Hey, thanks, guys. What's a few takeaways for us, Matt? You've obviously said a lot. I've taken a heap of notes here, but are there any 3 big rocks that you'd like to just leave us with, even if it's just to reinforce what you've already said?
Yeah. Okay. So the couple of realizations that I've had recently is buyers are already down the path. So how do you re-own that conversation? Okay. So have a think about that. And so we need to make sure that we're delivering the right thing for the customer, and don't be human Google. Don't answer yes, no, it's $89.95. That's not helping the client. The other thing is know who your client is and know who they do business with. And if you could think about, how could I write a day in the diary of my perfect client? And by knowing them at that heart level, at that gut level, they go, I know what they go through in solving their problems. It's like Mark and I were talking about the understanding the psyche, the positioning of property managers. Stroke their ego.
Yeah.
Know that they like a little bit of a power trip.
Yeah.
Know that they're dealing with people coming in at them this way, people coming in this way, and they're the crossing guards of the whole deal.
Yeah.
Provide them some value. So they're the couple of things there that. But if you can continually to provide value for the clients, and also work out your metric. If I do 100 of these activities and I get 5 sales or 5 new clients, is that worth the 100 activities? And if the answer is yes, do 100.
Yeah, and if I can just add on that, I think too, guys, from my perspective, for all of you, I'm always saying to everyone, raise their prices, because I think most people undercharge. And one of the areas that I focus a lot on, Matt, is having us get clear on what's the return on investment for our potential client in hiring us. And everyone here has gotten my process for how we come to that point in the sales meeting, which is really determining that. So if we are going to get 5 out of 100 guys, while it might not sound much, if we are increasing our prices, and if each one is worth, I know all of your prices vary, but if we can increase our prices and get a better return on those 5, it's going to make it even more worthwhile. And I know that's a whole other conversation, but I just wanted to add to that. If you've got a sec, Matt, I just want to unmute Mark Cullen, because Mark did have a question. If you have got a minute to answer another quick question, Matt?
Yep, fire away.
Go for it,
Yeah,
Mark.
hi, morning, Matt. Yeah, morning, Matt.
G'day.
Hey, I've just got a question. How soon is it after you've put a proposal letter to a client that you follow up?
Oh man, this is my very favourite thing to talk about. Oh, thank you. So if somebody's asked for a proposal, I want to keep this reasonably brief. So let me go through it really quickly. So Trevor, can I go for 5 minutes?
Yep, I'm sure everyone will be fine. If they have to leave, they'll just go. So you go.
Okay. So there's 4 stages of how buyers buy. Okay, and salespeople and business owners, since Jesus played fullback for Jerusalem, we know that salespeople have trained buyers how to buy. Now, if you take your business owner hat off and put your buyer's hat on, think about how you buy. Now, if you go into a dress shop with your wife or lady there, your salesperson walks up to you, sales consultant walks up to you and says, "Hi, can I help you?" My wife and 99% of other women and men will say, "No, thanks, just looking." So step 1 in the buying process is to lie to the salesperson. We don't want it. We don't like it. We've already know who you are. Send me a proposal, whatever it is. Next step is tell me everything about it, which we've already talked about, being human Google. The third step is lie to the salesperson again, send me a proposal. And the fourth step is hide. What happens often is you send a proposal, they need to talk to their boss, their astrologist, their dog, whoever it is, and they hide and they don't answer your calls. So this is how we unravel that little bit, Stephen. Somebody says, "Hey, can you send me a proposal?" Now that happens in my world because I deal with corporates a lot. Send me a proposal. I'm very happy to send you a proposal. If I get that proposal to you by Tuesday, do you think, when would you have a chance to read through it? Oh, well, we'll probably read through it by Friday. Okay, would it be reasonable for me to expect a call back on Friday afternoon? I go, well, probably Monday. Okay, great. So would it be reasonable for me to expect a call back on Monday afternoon? Yeah, okay. Look, if I don't hear from you, if you miss that commitment, do you mind if I call you on Tuesday morning? Yeah, sure. What have I done? I've psychologically made it now their frigging job to read the damn proposal and get back to me. Good business owners, people who own the space, actually take control by looking like we're giving control, but actually owning the whole thing. So if a client, just by doing that, and I've chosen all of my words really precisely. I've chosen to say, would it be reasonable for me to expect a call back the next day? Have a think about what that normal proposal process looks like. I send my proposal, they receive it, they've printed it out, and they go, I'll read that later because I've got all this other stuff coming at me and work and stuff. Then your phone rings. Then the phone rings. Steve's on the phone. It's Friday. Oh, geez, I was supposed to do that, deny. And they dodge your call. And by dodging that call, it creates a little bit of guilt in them. And then next time you phone, they still haven't done it because they've got stuff coming at them. It's not their job to read the damn proposal. So what we want to do is we want to shift that whole thing over and get them to commit to us when they're going to read it, when they're going to call us. I get 10x the number of callbacks than pretty much anybody else I know just by following that process.
Yeah, that's great,
So,
Matt. And one of the things I do that very similar is I will never do a proposal until I've actually had a what I call a consult meeting and build a lot of value. And then a similar language for me is if I can use, if I do this, this, and this, can you agree with me to do that, that, and that? And it's a little similar, but yeah, man, I completely agree. And as I say, is it puts us more on the front foot, right?
absolutely. And also makes it their job to read it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So then then also you've got permission to follow up.
Yeah, yeah,
If you
exactly.
make it your job to follow up and you make it your job to, and then they will be behind the 8 ball. They will forget to read your damn proposal, which is so frustrating because you spend, some of the clients I've worked with have literally spent a dozen hours building a proposal because it's technical.
Oh,
And then it's just a massive time suck.
yeah, I agree. Is there anything else you want to ask on that one, Mark?
No, I think that sums it up. But while we're all listening, I'd like to thank Trevor. He's my personal business growth coach, and he pushed myself and my wife pushed forward for a proposal with an internal networking company, and we've been fortunate enough now that we've picked it up for 6 branches in Queensland, and that was due to Trevor giving us some good direction and having put together a proposal email. So I'd like to pat Trevor on the back for that.
Yeah, thanks,
Fantastic.
Mark. Yeah, my pleasure. Yeah, my pleasure. Well, that's what we're all here to do. So it's great. But thanks, Mark. And yeah, great answer, Matt. Really appreciate it. Well, guys, look, we are coming up to 8 o'clock. If everyone's good, I will obviously send all of you guys this recording. There is a wealth of knowledge in here. I've let Matt go for it, and I'm sure everyone's fine with that. Matt, I just want to say thank you so much. I have learnt so much myself off you this morning. It's been really good reminders of what to do and what not to do. I'll see, guys, if I can squeeze a few of those beautiful emails out of Matt to forward to you guys. I'd definitely like to see a couple of those so I can use myself.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, thanks, Matt. And look, guys, if anyone does want to connect with Matt, I'm sure he wouldn't mind if it's done appropriately. So I'll just have a chat to Matt about that later if he's okay with that. And
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Hey,
okay.
guys, just find me on Facebook or email me, matthew@velocityselling.com. Happy to help. Look, Trevor's asked me to just chime in here. If you want something, all you got to do is ask. If you don't ask, you don't get.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks so much, Matt. Well, look, guys, we've come up to 8 o'clock. I'm going to just...
Catherine's putting a hand up there, Trevor. Do you want to...
Oh, okay. Yeah, go for it. Hang on a sec. Catherine, you on?
Good morning, everybody. Matthew, just a couple of questions. Do you have some books that you could recommend to read that can help us with some sales?
Yes.
I've got a bunch of books.
So just tell me a bit about what sort of business are you in?
I've got a number of things, but at the moment I'm focusing on creative art workshops for team building events.
Okay.
Well, Matt, if I can add to what Catherine does, if you don't mind me saying, Catherine.
No.
Catherine is developed. She's a writer. Her background's actually human resources, but she's now developed a program where for team building and corporate days and team training days is to go in and do creative painting classes for executives, and she's putting a program together to go and sell that into to various companies as a team building exercise.
Okay. You know what? If you don't ask, you don't get. So, Catherine, I will give you this book. It's called How to Motivate Your Team in 30 Days. That's actually one of our company books. So I don't know how I'm going to get it to you, but I'll figure it out with Trevor. That's a good one. I'll just give that to you. That's a step-by-step process on how to take people through that motivation cycle. Other products and other books, I really like The Ultimate Sales Machine by Chet Holmes.
The what one? Sorry, The Sales Machine.
The Ultimate Sales Machine by Chet Holmes. I've got it here somewhere. There it is. That's what that looks like. You can see that I've got, I've even got things tagged in it as things to Ultimate Sales Machine by Chet Holmes. That talks about actually developing your core story and figuring out your why. So a great TED Talk you should find is that Simon Sinek, Know Your Why, because that's why Apple is winning and why Microsoft is losing, is because Apple knows their why and then they project outwards. Microsoft knows their how and they project inwards. So develop that core story.
Yeah, that's great. Well,
thanks you very much.
That's great. Thank you so much, Matt. Been very, very generous today. Well, guys,
thank you.
Thanks, everyone. We're going to wrap it up now. I'll let you guys all get off for the week. We'll wrap it up here. And just guys, thank you so much, Matt. I will connect you guys in with Matt through the communication after here. Remember, guys, to take action. Go and have a great week. And I'm going to forward through the slide here. We all know about the club. For any of you guys that are interested in wanting to come and join the club, I'm going to give you guys all a call this week. I can see who are guests and who are members of the club. I'll check in with you, just determine if and how that's going to work for you and if it's something that we can see a value for you. Coming up next week, I'm going to be going through how to improve your speaking and presenting skills to actually get paid and make money as a speaker. Then the following week, we're going to be doing DISC profiles, what your DISC profile is and how that serves you, how to work with other people more effectively. Powerful process, a lot of fun too. So that's coming up. There's a whole lot of other stuff we're going to be doing. Some other guest speakers that I'm pursuing to bring into the Get It Club. And guys, I just want to say some closing words is when you can't think of one reason why to keep doing what you got to do, I say just keep going. So thank you guys very much for being on the call today. Thank you again, Matt. Been a wealth of knowledge. I will forward this email to all of you and we will wrap it up now. And if anyone does have any questions, I will stay around for the next 10 minutes and answer any questions that you guys may have. For those of you who have got to shoot off, go have a fantastic week. I look forward to seeing you all next week in the Get It Club. And thanks again, Matt. Powerful session. Really, really appreciate it. Great job. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Trevor. See you later, guys.
Thanks,
Matt.
Thank you.
Have a good one. Bye-bye.
See ya.
Thanks.
So, guys, anything I can help with anyone before we head off? No?
No, that was a really good session.
Yeah, that was great. He's a great guy. All right, well, there we go. That's a dog, isn't it?
Not mine, Trevor.
What's that?
Not my dog.
Oh, okay. No, look, all good. Well, look, everyone seems pretty quiet out there today, so I'm going to wrap it up from here. I will forward you this recording. I'm going to be definitely listening over it, and I'll connect in with everyone. And guys, go have a fantastic week. Absolute pleasure seeing you all in here today. Really, really appreciate it.
Thanks, Trevor.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Trev. See ya.
All right. Bye.
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 Bye.